All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to today's session. Midnight Bags. It is currently Tuesday, 11 p.m. PST. We're gonna go ahead and get started. If you guys can hear me loud and clear, just drop a one in the chat. We're gonna go ahead and get this started right here. As always, these sessions are not meant for any financial advice. It is all just educational, sharing my biases and seeing what we can find in the market. Markets have been cooking. Let's see, Jalen's in gold sells. Yeah, we'll definitely take a look. I'm definitely more on the sell side. Silver is definitely pretty strong. But we'll go ahead and get right into it. As far as our economic calendar, because that's the first thing we always check. We had some news right now, GBP CPI. I really am not anticipating a lot of volatility with this news. Past couple months hasn't given us much. Tomorrow, this isn't the real FOMC, but you never know. Sometimes they may say something, and that can be a catalyst to move the market. Um, Thursday, there'll be some volatility. Friday is pretty chill as far as um, we have some volatility, but as far as like these news events, they're not like crazy impactful, but we could still get some movement in the market. If you're a London trader, we got some volatility as well, but overall, the rest of the week looks pretty chill. How's everyone else's week going? Overall, for me, solid week. Requested payout. Now we're just chilling. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this. As far as volume, price is trending up, but volume is not. Off our 4 hour. Let's see. Probably selling gold from here. Definitely want to keep an eye on where silver's at. I can definitely see why you're selling. We are at a key level. I think we're gonna end up pushing higher though. Look how close we are to 50. If anything, I could see some shorts around 50. Because this hasn't broken down, it's still rejecting here. Could be completely wrong and it wants to go higher, but we do have this imbalance. So we'll personally wait for 49.50, but manage accordingly. If it fits your plan, then definitely go for it. It makes sense. The only weird thing with gold and silver is silver hasn't filled this gap, this inefficiency, but gold did. So if silver wants to push up more, that can cause gold to push up as well. I was looking at some potential areas for gold. This was something I wanted in the morning, but we didn't get down to it, unfortunately, and it lined up with that quarter level as well. Um, so I didn't pull a trigger on that. So me personally, 49.50 is an area I'll keep an eye on for gold. Some short-term sells. Um, Otherwise, buying, I would look for down here. The reason I don't want to buy inside of here is we do have this liquidity generator here. I was thinking about this specific area, but I don't like the fact that we have equal lows here. And to be honest, this morning I thought we would run these. I was surprised this actually held up. I was looking for this to get ran through and coming into my area down here. So ideally, we can sell from 49.50. Buying, this is the first area I'll consider looking at, depending on how price reacts. After that, Um, if it breaks through, then I'm looking at 47.25 more than likely. That'll be like my last area I would consider. After that, if we break, then yeah, we're definitely going much lower. Um, it's in an interesting spot right now for sure, but I can definitely see this going a little bit higher before selling off. Probably because silver is pretty bullish. I don't know if I gave you guys this zone last week, but this was something I was looking at. We respected it so far. And this is what I'm talking about silver. Silver hasn't filled this in. So if it wants to push a little bit further before we sell off, I can see this being filled. So that's why I'm a little bit cautious on selling gold. Also, silver's got ton of like highs right here to clear out. So just be cautious with that. Keep that in mind. We did speak about this last week. I told you guys, depending on how silver reacts here, if it breaks and closes above, you could have took a buy, which it gave you some. I'll give you a little bit of move. Breaks and closes below. You could take on a short, and it did right here. We get the retest, and then Thursday you had the huge melt off. So the concept was discussed, pretty simple. Don't need a complicated break and retest, and then make that boom. This is something I'm potentially considering. I really have to see what price does to see if I can get a buy inside of here. It'd be a very tight stop for silver. If volume also makes sense coming into that price action. So for me, it's kind of, yeah, we get the engulfing, no, not even engulfing volume here at all. Let's see. Yeah, volume's not fully there yet. So I want to see how price reacts inside of here. That's my bias to look for some buys inside of here. If we break that, then coming down into this area down here for silver, which I believe, let me see where I had it. Yeah, it's a 30-minute area. This will be probably a much bigger stop personally, um, uh, just because it can just break through and come down much further. So this one is something I'm just keeping an eye on, not necessarily going to force a buy, but seeing how price reacts from here. If you guys have something different, feel free. But let me make sure I have an alert set at 49.50. Yeah, we do. Okay. Yeah, I think we come up to 49.50 at this point. Since we're so close, we didn't really break down structure. This will probably explode up. And something you guys can keep an eye on volume wise, and this is something I've been studying as well. If when prices are tracing and you're not getting actual increases in volume, that is more likely, and this is something I'm still testing out, but that more than likely that's just rebalancing price action. It's not showing like a full shift um, uh, of sellers coming in. We just needed that healthy pullback to rebalance price action to continue higher. Because if you notice to the left, this ends up being a key level area and it just comes back, retests right off the quarter level and bounces back up. So if you did take shorts, I hope you partialed for sure, bro. Or took something off the board because if you got in around here, it did give you over 100 pips. Um, but paying attention, and this is where like trade management comes in. It's like how you're trailing. Yeah, this one's kind of convincing. This one looks convincing, but then you get this large candle here, and it's like, okay, let me trail stops and take something out in case it does not want to break. And for example, and this is just stuff that I implement too, is like if I take profit early here and say price does want to break down off the core level, keep it simple. Just take the break and retest lower. 1 second, messed up on the drawing here. Take the break and retest. What's the next probable area into this imbalance right here? So why not take it into at least 50% of it and you're good? Because that's like the most probable outcome versus letting it come back, hit you break even, take something off the board, depending on your rules. But that's how I play. Like if I counter trend this, I should at least trail or take something off the table, given the fact that I have to realize I'm coming down to a key level and it's rejecting pretty intensely. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that helps too. Uh, let's see, Nas. We did speak about this zone last week, and it did trigger in not only once but also twice. So if you guys were on last week, we did get the trigger into the trap candle, and it gave the initial one gave about 400 points. The second into the area gave about 150 or so. Um, so it was valid, worth attempting. Fits our entry, one of our entry models as far as trap candle. Personally, this is what I took on NAS in the morning. I did take these shorts down in here, and then I got in on the pullback here. And I actually want to show you guys how I was able to catch this pullback and where I TP'd and why, in case that helps anyone get a breakthrough. Um, so I got in around the shorts, like right around here, I want to say, and then I paid myself inside of here. And then price kept breaking down. But at this point, I believe it was US 30 that had not uh, fully broken down yet, and I saw price retrace up here. And for me, it's like, okay, understanding why is it retracing and where is it going to? Because we're still going to go lower. Buying pressure isn't in yet. So for me, it was okay, it's just going to come into imbalance. When it starts rejecting inside of here, I'm getting into my position. Had my stop above here, and I took out right after US 30 cleared its lows. I think I got it out like right around here, and then after that was just done for the day. But it's just keeping in mind like if we split screen it and see where US 30 was at, because I think this is a good learning point. And this is something you should definitely back test yourself as well. See, so this got around 718. Yeah, if you see US 30 was definitely pushing down more. I had more to go actually, I believe it was still left. Yeah. So US 30 had more to go to rebalance price action here, and that's what's convincing me to continue holding my shorts. Well, sorry, not holding, re-entering my shorts for NAS. Personally, lately, I've been mainly trading NAS and gold. US 30, I haven't traded as much, but I definitely use it for my bias, and it makes sense. And I think the buy up was also pretty clean in terms of like you had your volume come in, engulfing volume, engulfing candle, and if you didn't want to take the initial one, you just keep it simple. If we see prices rejecting here, look, volume is giving you confirmation, price breaks above, gives you a retest, and you take it up. And you're like, hey, where do I exit? Pretty simple. If you're getting in at this retest with your stop here, what's the most probable area that price is going to go towards? Probably rebalance this price action. And look what it did. It rebalanced and then came back down. If you only wanted your 1 to 3, you easily get that right here. But look at what price is telling you. We've clearly left behind this imbalance. Why not trail your stops and then go for more, at least to right here to rebalance price action? So all part of just trade management. Yeah, it went higher. Cool. It makes sense to go higher because ideally it would be awesome if this thing ran up here. Um, uh, but this is still a solid move over 200 points. So just wanted to share something in terms of like trade management and like my how I view things. And it did give you a re-entry for the buys, hourly trap candle. Yeah, it's a wide stop. Personally, I wouldn't have that much of a wide stop. I would just wait for the close and then find something inside of here. Where Nas is right now, we've kind of just been stuck. We've made equal highs. I want to see buys again. Um, First area I'm gonna keep an eye on personally is right here for tomorrow. And just a reminder, even though I give you guys zones in my perspective, I always reevaluate once price gets there. Like for example, um, if US 30 blew past this zone before Nas did, then I'd be less inclined to take it. We've got a little 4 hour candle here too. So two potential areas I am going to keep an eye on as we head into, I won't be trading London for sure, as we head into tomorrow. Because I do anticipate us getting a decent rally back up to rebalance price action before we get another sell down. Because volume is also looking pretty decent. Let's see how the daily closed. Daily, we had some more volume. Not the best candle, but as we're trailing up, with this one I like so far. And yeah, I think we can get a decent rally up. As far as where's reacted, it makes sense for us to get a rally up from this area. If we do break above, especially if we clear this low and this low, I would look to take this down all the way. If you find some shorts all the way down to 23,950. Um, uh, oh, sorry about that. Let me get rid of this. We are starting a form. That's my bias. I want to look for buys, but if we break below and structure shifts, continue shifting down, I'm just gonna look for some shorts to take out these lows. Especially when there's like this internal low and prices coming down, I'll that's like an easy target to take out because people probably have stops here. So I'll look for this to get taken out and then eventually take this out. But I want to see buys, ideally going into tomorrow. And if you're not confident in attempting any of this, keep it simple. We have an area of resistance, equal highs, price breaks above, just take a retest to go higher. Why? Because look right here. What do we have right here? Some highs, some equal highs. What do we have to the left of it? Imbalance. So if we have volume in our favor, structures continuing to break forward, why not take the most probable trade and take it up here? Pretty simple. You don't need to catch this bottom. You can catch right here and you're still banking in over 100 points, 200 points. So take the probable move. Let's look at US 30. This is a little bit uglier. This was an area I think we were looking at for US 30 last week. Did give a decent move, about 400 points if you guys were on. But where we're at now, let's reevaluate. I'm kind of in the same bias too. We did make this little trend line. If we really don't shift above, so where I'm at is like I want to see US 30 breaking close above this area, and then I'll take this move up here. That's the most probable one. If we start breaking lower, this is the last area, I can just take a break and retest lower to take out these lows. Because we've got this trend line liquidity forming. That's why I'm like a little bit more hesitant on playing this candle on NAS and 30. It's just an area I am keeping an eye on, and depends on how price opens tomorrow. If we just range, then I'm gonna sit on my hands to be honest, and then wait for either side, like play the extremes. If the liquidity gets swept here, then I look for buys. Um, if we break above here, break and close, I'll look for buys from this area, or I short from this yellow line right here because it's a key level for sure. If anything I say doesn't make sense, please let me know. Just type it in the chat, and I have no problem clarifying. Um, but I know most of you are the OGs, so you guys kind of understand how I trade. It's pretty simple. We look for our trap candles, we look for liquidity, imbalances, nothing too complex. Look for the probable moves. Honestly, I'm not even gonna mark up SPX because it's literally the same bias. All the indices, fortunately, are looking the same as of right now. So it's just a matter of where is it gonna break out of. So just be patient. Let it show you its hand. Because we look, it's in this range, so there's no point in trying to play inside of this. Let it break out either to the upside or to the downside, and then you play from there. Because that's the more probable move. And this, I wouldn't be surprised if it just ranges until New York. Maybe London even gets a move, but I'd just wait for New York on that. Oil, I know in the chats we were talking about swings coming up pretty soon for oil. This was, I think, the move that we did miss. Let me look at this on a larger. And then we spoke about this last week too, how it was squeezing. Just let it break out and then you play from there. Nice little trap candle on the daily. Cool. I can potentially see some oil buys setting up inside of here. We had the sweep here, then we push up. If we can come back and retest, unless this is already given the reaction, I can definitely see us come down a little bit lower, especially this candle with no wick. Does it have? Oh, it does have a wick. Cool. Looked like it didn't for a second. Let me do this. There's some inefficiency here. Yeah, ideally I would like to see us come a little bit lower and rebalance before we go further up. If all that breaks, then who knows, we might get this 4 hour a shot. But it would make sense for us to respect down inside of here and then continue higher. If you do find some buys, this would be the run to take it up to like 75. Pretty straightforward. Dollar, we did speak about a short rally last week, and it is currently doing that. So I would definitely see this going up a little bit higher. That's why we want gold to short. Yeah, this was solid. So yeah, I'm still in favor of dollar higher a bit as well. We'll move on to some USD pairs. Peso, honestly, still same as bias as last week. This is the larger zone. Um, looks like it's going to get one more sweep down. See if it still respects this zone. UJ still did not come back yet. So this is still pending. Um, I'm still in favor of this. I can see us going higher, and if we're selling off, just because I don't like the fact that we have this imbalance here. So I still like shorts on UJ. And I'm gonna kind of run through today's a little bit quicker because last week we didn't have many setups. Market did not look that good. This is holding up surprisingly here. So wouldn't be surprised if it gives one more little sweep down to take out this little trend in liquidity and continue buying up. Let me see if we have anything inside of here. I think in particular where I would take a potential buying opportunity. This is all efficient. No obvious area as of yet, but if something does build up, I'll try to send it out. But this is looking promising for some buys, at least up into 0.78500 for Chef USD Chef if you guys trade that. USD CAD. This will rally up until probably 1.375. Let's see if we have any potential re-entry opportunities here. If we can get a little pullback for USD CAD inside of here and then continue higher. So ideally this is something I'm looking at here, right inside of this candle here. We got some alerts set for that. You guys take a quick look at that. And if there's any specific topics you guys want me to cover, feel free to ask. No problem doing that. GJ hasn't came back. This area is still valid as of right now. Um, uh, let's see where this reacted. Actually, might even get some short-term buys on GJ here. Let's see. This looks promising. Volume actually is looking decent with this candle. So if we can get a little pullback inside of this 30-minute area here and then take this further up. So looking at something like this, 33-point stop. This is an obvious exit right here, at least right here, because that's where price has reacted previously. But if we break above, fill that imbalance, still get a 1 to 3. If this rally holds, then you're looking at a 1 to 11 from here. If you want to give this a little bit more breathing room and go down here, completely understand. 60 point stop, you still hit 1 to 5. But that's what I'm looking at for GJ. Makes sense for us to get a little rally up from here. Everything else is pretty efficient up to this point. We'll love to see if this area holds, personally. GU, thing is, I want to see GU drop. Dollar rallying, so I would love to see GU come down. We are inside this 2 hour trap candle. This is something worth considering to take shorts inside of, because we still have the imbalance target and the lows here. It just, if you do enter inside of where it's at right now, your stop would technically be up here. So you have to be okay with 50-point stop roughly to gain 120. If it comes tags equal lows, 155 roughly. So it is in a decent area to attempt, at least where I would attempt some shorts as well. It's totally up to you if it fits your plan, but GU makes sense to continue shorting down here. GBP odd. I can see a short-term potential rally on GBP odd. The volume looks good. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, this looks solid right here. So where GB odd is right now, I can see a potential short-term rally up, just like with GJ, to be honest. This looks pretty textbook as far as like we shifted up. We had that little trap candle. It's reacting off of it. See if there's like an internal play inside of here. Now basically where it's at right now, because everything is pretty efficient. Like this was your last point to rebalance price action. So this is on the table to attempt some buys if it fits your plan. I like how it looks right now. You are counter trending, so play according to what your rules say in terms of managements. But I can definitely see this at least running about 250 pips. Come just rebalance this price action to the left here. We only had actually this looks, yeah, at least still right here. There we go. GBP CAD. Still looking to take these lows out. This one's a little weird. GB CAD looks very similar to GU. As of right now, this makes sense for us to go lower. Um, we did form equal lows here. So like the GJ and GP AUD look solid for buys, but then GU and GB CAD, I see downside still. I'm gonna stay out of GB CAD. GP Swiss, this one I'm still not convinced for buys yet. We still go lower on this. I think yeah, we definitely still go lower. Buys would be once we get inside of this body of the candle here. So I can see one more leg lower on GP Swiss for sure. GP NZD. Let's check what's gold doing right now, real quick before I look at that. Dang, it didn't go up to. Well, it's not there yet. I can still see it coming up there. Lower on this. We just made equal lows here too, so. And this volume is not very convincing as of right now. Short-term rally I can see, but we did also make equal lows on this. A lot of effort inside of this candle. EU, sorry, EA. Where is this? I want to see more downside on this, but we might get a short-term rally from where it's at as well right now. Let's We've got the trap candle here. This one I personally want to sit on my hands. I'm not fully convinced yet of this area. Sellers are really trying with this volume coming in. I'm gonna stay out of EA. Let's see if EuroCAD, staying out of EuroCAD, um, because like there's nothing inside of this. We've just been consolidating, so there's no reason to be inside of this market. Let's see where this is at. Oh yeah, this is the one that's still at all-time lows. There's no reason to touch this. It's at all-time lows. This volume looks nice. If you are gonna attempt this, it'd be like right inside of here. But personally, I'm not gonna attempt it. Mm, there's no point in me putting my money at risk for something that's at like all-time lows right now. Euro GBP did take out the highs, like we spoke about. Let's see where this is at currently. I did volume close up here. A lot of effort. No setup personally on this, to be honest. We've taken out the liquidity. I don't have a clear setup on this, and I'm okay with. I like my indices a lot better as of right now. For Euro JPY, we've got another set of equal lows formed here. So similar thing as of where price is at right now on this is let it break out. It's trapped inside of this middle zone. Um, Probable trade is break and retest from here and break and retest lower from here because then you have the equal lows target right here. Personally, just sit on your hands with this one. There's no point in trying to force it. There's 2 hours of potential opportunity, but like I said, like I rather take the more probable trade and let it break out and then take the retest from there because then we have this upside potential target. So I'd rather do that because that's more probable for me. So seeing something like this ideally before attempting anything first. Oh, speaking of, let me make sure I set alert here. Euro NZD, and this thing took off. The sell idea is still valid for me. We got the alert set, so we're just gonna let price get up there and see how things look once it is there. EU, staying out of EU. I don't like playing in this middle range to attempt to buy. We did basically make another set of lows right here to take out. So if anything like EU shorts wouldn't make sense. It's just where it's at right now. The only potential possible area I would consider is if we can get a pullback inside of here and then short down to take out the equal lows and then fill the imbalance right to the left here. Continue on here. Feel free to send me any pairs you guys want to look at, or if you have markups and you dropped it in our Powerhouse chat, let me know. I can always take a quick look at it as well. Uh, we're not touching OddCAD because we've just been ranging sideways for me. Like there's no trade inside of this. And this let this be a lesson to you guys. If you as you're shifting through, and you don't need to. The only reason I'm looking at all these pairs is because I know a lot of people trade different things, so I just give my perspective. But you don't need to trade every pair. If you find that your entry model sets up better on specific pairs, and like you understand that pair better because you put more chart time on it, then trade that. As long as at the end of the day you look at your data, and if your data says things are looking good, or like you're doing much better on a certain pair, trade that. Like for me, for example, I definitely do better on gold versus silver. Just because silver margins on futures, even having like a bit of a bigger account size, sometimes you're risking a couple hundred for your stop loss. And sometimes I just don't want that big of a stop for how I trade. And same thing with like NAS and US 30. NAS just works out better for me in terms of like how I can scale versus US 30. So, and that's just looking at my data for the past at least 2, 3 months for sure. I barely touched US 30 in terms of trades. It's definitely all mainly been NASDAQ and gold. Have had some silver here and there, but it's like very short trades for sure on silver. Um, I don't like odd Swiss either. Like this is just screaming to go lower because we've had all these wicks with the trend line forming here too. AUD we were together last week, right? Yeah. This zone ended up playing out. So if anyone did take odd JPY, this thing was a solid move. It ran 100 and over 150 points. So as of right now, this trade is definitely done for sure. We hit the target of taking out the equal lows. Like as you guys see right here, it takes it out and gives that immediate reversal. Yeah, we got another leg lower, but still, this was like all you really needed inside of here. So we'll let this be for now. That was a solid move. I do want to see this come a little bit lower. We're probably need a short-term rally. The next potential area, bit of a bigger area because I can see GJ rallying too. So seeing JPY rally up a bit makes sense. I always compare the yens. That's what helped me a lot when I was trading GJ. Is I would look at Euro JPY, odd JPY, and see where those prices are at. Because sometimes when one, it's like trading the indices. When one is at a certain zone and the other one is not, I'll take the latter. Pretty straightforward. Odd NZD. Yeah, this thing's just gonna keep pushing. No trade on this yet, to be honest. This is just on a rampage up. You know what's cool? I just realized now that like, because I'm like I was telling you guys, I'm learning even as we're doing this. Keep screaming break and retest when you miss like the initial move. Look what price literally did. Not only once, but it did give you twice. And you're telling me you wouldn't take it into this range? That's 85 points. Max you probably risking is 15, 20 pips. Sorry, 85 pips, not points. So you stay in these indices. And then you're going with the trend, so it runs up more. Keep it simple. This is a very important key level on a higher time frame and respects it twice. And you can literally do the same thing in the opposite direction. If price breaks down here, respects a key level, short down. But obviously we're not going to short right now because market is straight up bullish on this pair. A good learning point for sure. We potentially see some shorts for AUD USD. We might not get back up here, but if we do, I do like this area on odd USD. Let me just look to the left here real quick before I confirm. Yeah, this is a potential idea that we could attempt. Uh, as always, we look at how price looks once it does get there, because things can change in between sessions. But I would like to see this hourly trap candle get respected and then shift down. As far as exits, let's see here. One to three gives you right down to this low. If price is in momentum when we clear this low, then you can take it definitely down to right here. because this is like that internal kind of low, so I always see like these things get taken out personally whenever I'm in trades. And that's also like for you guys that like are trying to learn how to scale your entries. I personally, as we break lows, I will add in and I'll aggressively trail my stop, especially with indices when prices and momentum. Lately, what I've been figuring out is when price is like heavy pushing and I'm able to get in and scale, it's so awesome because that works out with how aggressively I like to trade. Especially as structure breaks, then I'm like adding in, and I just love that momentum. Granted, if you're on the opposite side, then you're kind of screwed. But then keep it simple. Just wait for the pullbacks. All about structure. Catch chef is just gonna go lower. We like it's just pretty obvious. Like simple liquidity right here equal lows. Um, I'm not gonna force anything on this. This I just don't like how this looks. Obvious downside is clearing out the lows. After that, we're basically still at yeah, we're at all-time lows. So no point in touching any of this. Cadiana. This hasn't came back. So we got the buy zone and the sell zone, and now it's just a matter of we've got our alert set, let price get to either zone. So this is one where you're just kind of chilling because it just hasn't made its move yet, hasn't made its decision. And when price does do this, just stay out. Like you don't need to force anything or take the probable trade, find a key level, take a break and retest from that. Swiss yen, I do like. I still am in favor of these shorts. Same thing with this is it's kind of just shopping right now. So let it tell you its hand. And cool thing is, look to the left here. We've got multiple touch points. If buying pressure is there and volume is there, simple. Take the break and retest. Don't complicate it. Why? There's reason, there's motive, imbalance, inefficient price action, rebalance, volume is there. Your confirmations are there. Get in. You don't need every single confirmation. I've come across people that are like, I need X, Y, and Z, all the letters in the alphabet, basically. I'm like, you don't always need that. Yeah, majority of confirmations would be better, but if there's motive in the market and there's a key, obvious confirmation, pull the trigger. And if you are not still 100% sure, but it is like maybe a B level setup, not an A plus, keep it simple, reduce your risk. Especially like if you're counter trending, there's nothing wrong with reducing risk. Like even if you take a small win, some money out of the market is better than no money. And if you hit break even is better than not losing any money. And for just sharing my experience, those of you trading futures, um, especially as you're starting the challenge, obviously do what your plan says. What has been working for me is I scale in slowly, especially like the start of the week. Like Monday yesterday, I didn't really trade. I think I took like two or three trades. I have to check my calendar thing. I woke up in the morning, looked at the market. I knew it was like holiday and markets were gonna close early, so I didn't really anticipate anything. And I already went in the mindset like the night before. I was like, okay, dude, you know it's a holiday. Don't force anything. Market's only gonna be open for a few hours before the early close. If you don't see it, just close it. Go to work. Go about your day and stuff. Um, and then just came into today, and even today I scaled in slowly. Um, uh, before I started adding size. Like before, like I scaled in slowly, took a couple wins, and then I added size, leveraging my profits. Nothing on ZDCAT. This is gonna come lower. So, but I'm not gonna attempt any buys inside of here in case it wants to give us a deeper retracement. I will consider shorts up inside of here potentially. When we get back up there, we are very far away. As of right now, this must have had some news today. Yeah, it did. That's why it dropped so aggressively, probably. So I will consider short term up here, but as of right now, no setup on NZD CAD. NZD JPY, same. A lot of the yens we still have the same area, so hopefully we can get back up there. This is gonna more than likely break the low, given how close we are, especially with the London volume coming in 15 minutes. Wouldn't be surprised. Breaks that low, takes out these wicks here, and probably takes out this big wick. Big wicks always get taken out. NZD USD. That must have been news because that was a pretty big candle coming down. Yeah, oh yeah, there was that. No wonder. I was gonna say wouldn't expect NZD to move like that, to be honest. This one's still running, hasn't hit TP yet. I would wait to buy this, given that the other NZD pairs have a little bit more to push down. So kind of sit on my hands for NZD JPY. Sorry, NZD USD. NZD Chef. First entry still running. Yeah, this one we're probably like if you guys look, we've got clear liquidity resting right here, so this is probably gonna come down. This side already hit the target, so we can discard this whole setup. That was a solid move. Yeah, now this one is just sit on your hands because like this needs to sweep down more. USD CAD, we already went over this. Let's see where I'll come back to crypto in a second. DAX, I still like potential shorts with the DAX inside of here. So if we can drop down tomorrow, oh, this was a beautiful trap, and it's for morning, 2 hour trap candle inside of here for the DAX. Yeah, DAX was cleaner to play than NASDAQ and US 30 this morning. Ideally, we get a small drop on DAX tomorrow to catch some buys. Man, even this, wow, this is just beautiful textbook plays. This isn't a confirmed idea. This is a zone I'm keeping an eye on to see if we respect to go higher, because then we have this imbalance to fill. This is, and it might want to come a little bit low inside of here, but this is the first area I'm gonna keep in mind on. Yeah, natural gas. I mean, still chilling. Oh no, this did run already, so we're good. This is canceled. Yeah, this thing ran up like crazy. I think we get a little bit lower, like one more leg lower for natural gas, and we see some buys again. Never seen natural gas move this much in a short amount of time. Crazy. BTC, quick look here. I only mark up from a technical point of view what I see. Um, uh, Not necessarily fundamental when it comes to crypto because it's not my area of expertise. Just putting it out there. We're we did get a little bit of reaction here. In terms of bias, I still want to see Bitcoin drop a little bit more, to be honest. Um, I want to see this low get taken out. This is an extreme pricing area, 50 to 45. Just from a technical point of view, I can see why we can come down here. But first, I would need to see a break and close below 60, basically. So personally, where crypto's at right now, well, Bitcoin specifically, I don't want to play inside this range. You can see from Sunday, well, also really from Friday, we've kind of just been consolidating in this range, 6,000 point range. So with this, if you are going to attempt any buys, just be cautious. As far as volume, I'm not convinced yet. Like this candle really tries. Yeah, engulfs the previous one, but volume doesn't engulf on this. Even this one really tries. Volume isn't there. So I'm personally not convinced for the buys to be in yet. Could be completely wrong. I just don't see it yet. And I'm gonna go I'm gonna trust my technicals, and I still see this going lower for sure. Platinum did give a short move from last week. Didn't get high enough where we wanted to. That's okay. Where's gold at? Gold's still chilling. Jalen, are you still in the shorts, or did you get out? I know you said you were in sales earlier. To be honest, I just wait for 50 at this point. We're so close, and sell like this is such a weak 5 minute. Like yeah, there's volume, but I'm not convinced by this candle. The platinum, I want to short to. Yeah, platinum is staying out. It's just moving sideways. What about copper? No, nothing on copper either. Silver was on a rampage right after the open today. Well, so I'm just looking at just studying price action here for a second. See if I like missed anything earlier. This was the re-entry right here. This little 2 minute chop candle. Anyhow, I'll explain what was going through my mind right now. Sorry, I was quiet for a few seconds. Um, Obviously, I couldn't trade this during agent session because I'm waiting for my payout from the account. But basically, what I'm looking at is this specific candle right here. Reason being is still in favor of buys at this moment, primarily because uh, I want to see this high. I wanted to see this high get taken out. If you guys look, we've got equal high here. Plus, this was New York's top, looks like. No, actually, sorry. Yeah, New York's top was the open up here. So it's like we take out one set of highs, it would make sense for us to take out previous session high, which we did. So what we know about volume coming in around Asian session, like that 6 p.m. PST time, 6 to 7, we get a little bit of a pullback, but then we start rejecting right inside this, like structure still holds. And if we were really selling, why is this candle volume not increasing as we're coming down? It starts to decrease. So this is telling me that this pullback is just to rebalance price action. And what's cool is you have your little 2 minute trap candle play inside of here. And this is what I like about the smaller time frame trap candles to get the re-entry is, dude, my risk is only this much now. Versus my upside, this is your first target, target one. And then price like clearly breaks above. Say like you just TP'd here, that's the 1 to 4, and you did the same thing inside of here. Because if we study volume inside of here, we retrace back down, but we don't really increase in volume. This was just to rebalance this price action inside of here. Price breaks out in momentum to take out this high over here, the New York high, with the volume opening at 630. Solid, like trade in it in itself. And the reason I do that is just so it's like a mental learning point for me, but also for you guys, because like this is literally what like I use for entry criteria. Yeah, this was solid. So pay attention to that because this is something I've been studying a lot. Like when volume is retracing, is it actually uh reversal or is it just meant to rebalance price action to continue back into the trend that it is going? See where we're at with gold. Gold's just chilling right now. And personally, like hindsight, we could have potentially taken something off this quarter level. Um, but where it's at right now, I'd would just wait for break and retest from either level. 4950 is the next area I would attempt. But like I said, if silver um, uh, breaks out above and wants to come rebalance all of this, just be very cautious with what you do with gold. Um, I'm gonna keep a close eye on silver. If I can get a decent trade going into the week to rebalance this price action, I am gonna pull the trigger, especially if we're in momentum, and I'm gonna scale in as much as I can. Um, because the exits are just so obvious. Like this is like one of those setups for me personally that this is a gold mine. Yeah, you get those setups where price just goes in momentum. I like to add positions. If when it's in momentum, I'm okay with exposing myself to a little bit more risk. I understand the risk I'm taking, just to be clarifying, because I already have a preset plan with if and when we get to that point. Like, say I miss all of this and I can't get to that, my next obvious one is this. Like, I can still take a break and retest from here and refill this price action. That's still a solid move on silver, especially like on one micro. Like you're catching a decent move here. I want this personally, as long as this makes sense when price gets there, and gold makes sense as well. So I can come take all of this out here. We'll see. Does anyone have anything they would like me to go over with? If not, we can call it a night. Gold, silver, we already went over indices. We've got our zones, so we're just gonna have to let price do its thing and show its hand. We've got a couple of zones. I'm in favor of buys going into the rest of the week to at least rebalance the price action here. Then maybe we get some more shorts. Because from a daily point of view, I don't think we're fully into back into like going into all-time highs again. I want to see the short-term rally up. But yeah, that's my bias. Keep it simple, guys. Trade responsibly. If you guys ever need any help, feel free to reach out. And if you are interested in the Powerhouse community and you like the content, um, uh, feel free to check out all the rest of the videos we have, the live sessions, and the uploaded videos we have from the past. Great content. And then just feel free to reach out if this is the type of education or community that you're looking for. This community is big. And none of what we do is financial advice. We just share our perspective. We're all students of the game, just trying to grow and get better. But pretty much with that, I think we'll call it a night. You guys already know the game plan of what to do with all the pairs, like our main pairs at least that we cover, like commodities and indices. So trade responsibly, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Much love, guys. Appreciate you hopping on.